Babble with Ben.
Okay, welcome to the podcast, Shannon Hart, aka Furious Nollsy.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Oh, actually, you know what? If I was telling the truth, I would say I'm absolutely rooted at the moment.
Oh, yeah?
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay. Recovering from a cold at the moment, but I mean, yeah, things are getting a bit better, I reckon.
That's cool. It seems to be the season for it, doesn't it? Like everyone's just sort of, you know, I think we're all out of isolation and lockdown and we're all just going, oh, okay, human beings.
Yeah, no, human interaction again. Weird.
Yeah, I'm actually enjoying it, actually. Like, I mean, viewers at home may notice that we're in a different studio today because of what's commonly known as the Box Hill Shuffle.
The Box Hill Shuffle.
AKA the chaotic administration of the joint, hey?
Yeah, you book a room, you think you have it all free, then you notice a bunch of people in there, and then you have to move to a different room because they're like, no, we booked it here.
That's exactly what we found, wasn't it? We got.
Yeah.
I was running maybe 5 minutes late. I've got my lights, I've got my tripods, I've got all the gear.
All good to go.
Walk into the room thinking, okay, yeah, we won't be too far behind. Teacher looks at me going, WTF, bruh. You know what I mean?
What are you doing in here?
And I'm like, well, actually, mister, I have got the room booked. It's on Scatter. And he's like, no, you don't. Whatever you think you saw, it ain't what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. It's a pain.
And so, yeah, we've sort of found, what's this, room 120, yeah? Next to someone playing saxophone, maybe? Which
Got lovely background music from a saxophonist. It's lovely.
almost as bad as drummers, hey?
Sick. Thanks for having me on the podcast. I'll take my leave now.
No. Tell us all about what you do, man. What do you do?
I play drums mostly. I'm in two bands at the moment, Furious George and almost said my Instagram handle.
Yeah.
Furious George and Vexation. I have a YouTube channel where I just make drum covers and silly little skits. But yeah, I'm just trying to keep busy, trying to make music at the moment as well. Recorded some new Furious George music recently, which will be out soon. Currently touring for an album with Vexation at the moment, so that's been a lot of fun. Played my first interstate show a week or so ago, actually.
That's awesome. Yeah. Where'd you go?
I went to Adelaide, and that was a lot of fun.
Cool.
Went at the perfect time too because they just got out of restrictions and everything, and everyone's just fanging for a show. So
Yeah, I'd reckon, hey, because that border was shut for a very long time in Adelaide.
for a while. And then we got there and then we played probably one of our best shows, I reckon. So that was a really, really good one, I think.
I saw the shots on Insta. It looked like a lot of fun, hey.
Oh, it was. Got my first crowd surfer as well. First show
Really?
where we made someone crowd surf. That was really cool.
That's awesome. I had a listen to Furious George on your Spotify as well. And it reminded me, like I was trying to think of the way to describe how I felt. I felt, man, this is like such heavy, like dread-inducing music. It reminded me of being a 16-year-old a very long time ago and just being greened out on a friend's carpet listening to Korn.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, that's awesome.
And so I'm just like, whoa. Like, where does that emotion, like, where's that emotion come from? Because I think there's just so much tension and...
Yeah, I mean, it used to be such a like massive genre for just people to kind of lash out musically, I guess. Like a lot, especially with like Korn and like the nu metal genre and everything, was very progressive in a way. Like a lot of bands are still trying to copy that sound, but make it, you know, blend like metalcore and like, you know, more progressive genres and everything. But it used to just kind of be like anger incarnate, I guess. And then like you have older bands like, you know, Black Sabbath moving on to like Metallica and the thrash metal scene and everything, and then death metal and like groove metal in the 90s. So like there's been a lot of progression in what metal could sound like. And I don't know, it's kind of weird to think about. Like it's really hard to describe what it is now because it's just a lot of different things. There's so many genres. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe. That's with most genres, I reckon, especially metal.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost like house music where there's just so many subgenres and splinters of it, and then you get the people that are just absolutely rampant fans of one particular thing.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, you have a lot of people that are massive fans of like, you know, death metal or thrash metal, and you can definitely tell what kind of metal fan it is by like, I mean, I guess the way they dress and everything. Like you got people wearing the battle vest with like patches of different old bands and everything. It's just like you love listening to Death and Cannibal Corpse and Metallica and old Slayer and everything. So yeah. And then like more metalcore and like new metal fans, it's more just like, you know, this sort of get up, I guess. But yeah.
Describe what you're wearing for the viewers at home.
Oh, yeah. For the lovely people watching it audibly. I mean, I just got, you know, the dad cap, the AS color shirt, ripped jeans, Vans, you know, basically just almost a skater get up, but just, you know, I play breakdowns in bands.
Sweet. Yeah, and they got the Seinfeld logo on the cap too.
Gotta love
Bit
the
of
Seinfeld
90s
hat.
reference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Seinfeld's so good.
Who would you describe as your musical heroes?
I have a fair few. I love all different kinds of music because I kind of grew up with two different sides, I guess, because like I had my mum and my sister that were like doing dance classes and everything and like dance competitions and everything growing up. So I got a lot of, you know, R&B and like Kylie Minogue and like those kind of classic pop stars and everything. So I got nice stuff out of that. And then my dad, who just really loved rock music, like, you know, the Triple M stuff from the day, I guess, like Midnight Oil, AC/DC. Yeah, Midnight Oil is probably one of my favorite bands now, I think. I grew up wanting to play the bass, I think, because of Kiss. Yeah,
oh, really?
Like seeing
Yeah.
Gene Simmons and everything like that, I'm just like, that's cool. I want to do that. But I don't know what clicked. I think it was watching some some music videos from Midnight Oil and seeing how crazy Rob Hurst can go and everything like that and the different sounds he made and all that. I'm just like, I think I want to be a drummer.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, but kind of going throughout like the timeline of when I started to now, I reckon. Say, if I could pick three, I'd say Mario Duplantier. I think that's how you say his last name. The drummer from Gojira.
Ah, yep.
Probably Joey Jordison.
Slipknot.
Yeah, and to pick like a more different side of a different genre, I reckon maybe Dave Weckl. Like, you know, some of the fusion guys and everything, because I kind of take that into my playing a lot more now. Like, you know, just gotta love different kinds of accents you can do and like just blend different styles together, because I like playing the heavier stuff, but I want to add some like groove to it and everything.
Absolutely, yeah. Are you finding that you're being exposed to more genres of music now that you're studying here at Box Hill?
Definitely, I think, yeah. I mean, I'm playing a lot more jazz and everything. Like we have a jazz improv class now as well. So I'm learning a lot of different, like, you know, following the band and, you know, catching different accents people are doing and, you know, knowing when to rise up in dynamics and fall down in dynamics. So, I mean, I find that I'm actually playing a lot more Latin music as well, like, especially my drum teacher outside of uni and outside of my high school when I was practicing. I what's it called? He used to play a lot of he used to give me a lot of like Afro-Cuban stuff or like, you know, Latin and Cuban rhythms and everything, like practicing different claves just to help with my I guess limb independence and like coordination and all that, you know, sort of Danny Carey almost just four limbs doing four different things, I guess. It's yeah, I find that every time I sound check as well, like I'll get on the kit, I'm just like, ooh, samba. Yeah, I just love that sort of style. It's very smooth.
I found something similar when I started studying here as well. Like I was never a jazz guy. I always thought that was museum music. You know, it was like studying Latin or something like that.
Yeah, it's the elevator music. You know,
exactly. But then, I don't know, something clicked and I was like, oh, actually, this does have value. I can see the influence of this music on the things that I really love. Like, you know, for example, Jeff Buckley's a big musical hero of mine. And, of course, he grew up in that jazz tradition with Nina Simone and, yeah.
Yeah, Jeff Buckley is a really good one. I only got onto him recently from a friend. We were driving back from, like, a guitar store or something to come back here. And he put on Grace, and I haven't turned back since. He's an incredible singer.
In the car is the right place to listen to Grace too. Like
Yeah.
Jeff Buckley, I remember a quote from him. where he said that he made that record for people that are just cruising down the highway and they want to, crank it as loud as they can.
Yeah.
And I can totally hear that too. I mean, there's definitely some soft spots, right? But
Oh, yeah.
I think, the title track, Grace and Eternal Life, for example, they're just great highway cruising songs.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you want to have a good playlist. I mean, yeah, you can have that, but I feel like I like a good album to drive down, like driving down to Geelong or on a road trip. That was pretty much the road trip down to Adelaide for me and Vexation. We were just putting on album after album and everything. Got exposed to some cool music, so that was nice.
And so that was your first tour, you were saying, with Vexation, yeah? How did you go with Life on the Road? How long were you gone for?
We were gone for a couple days, pretty much the weekend, I'd say. But yeah, it was an experience, I reckon. I thought I'd hate some aspects of it, but even just sleeping in the van or anything like that, I'm just I don't know, it's all part of it. But yeah, just the journey getting there, nice drive, a lot of good scenery on the way there. And we got there at 4 a.m. and
Oh, really? Yeah.
yeah, I got to experience a completely dead town because it was just 3:30. We're just we need to find a place to stay. And yeah, just seeing no one there, it was just a ghost town. It was eerie, but it was very cool. And then playing the venue that we were at, and getting to experience different kinds of people, even though it's just a state over, it was definitely a great experience, and it took a lot out of it, and I'm keen to do it again later on this year.
Where would you go next? Do you reckon you do the East Coast, do Sydney, Brisbane?
Yeah, I think we're pretty much doing all the East Coast, yeah. So we've done South Australia. Now we have, we're doing a show in Sunbury on the 2nd of April. So that's just going to be one of the Victorian shows. After that, heading up to Queensland, we're going to do Gold Coast and Brisbane. Actually, the other way around, but we're still going to be there.
Yeah.
And then we're doing New South Wales last, I think. And then a couple shows around Melbourne whenever they pop up.
Will you drive or will you fly for these interstate shows?
We're going to fly to Queensland. I don't think we could do 2 days in a van. But yeah,
one van or two?
One.
And how many of you are in the one van?
3. So it's me, Sam, and Reese. So.
And did you all sleep in the van?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, we tried
to find beans for dinner, guys. No.
Yeah, we tried to find a place, but I mean, I don't think anyone was taking any calls at 3:30, so we were just we'll just find a rest stop and just sleep there, and then headed to Adelaide in the morning. So that's what we did.
It's a time-honoured tradition. I love just car camping like that as well, and I will almost always have at least a hammock in the back of my car because What I find is that how when you're at a rest stop, right, and there's almost always these tables that have got a cover over them.
Yeah.
If you string up the hammock diagonally under that, you've almost always got some rain cover, and
nice.
You just don't want the ropes to break and you fall onto the table. But
yeah, you better hope that doesn't happen.
No, you invest in a good hammock. And otherwise, I bring a swag too. I think a swag is because it just means you can sleep outside. I think.
And I mean you're completely covered that way as well.
Yeah. Yeah, a little claustrophobic, but better than being rained on or eaten by mosquitoes, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
So how long have you been running your YouTube channel for?
I've been running it since the lockdown, I think, the very first one. I don't know. I just, taking online classes and everything, I'm just I need some downtime, I think. I guess I just set up my drum kit because we had to do that because we had to play on Zoom and everything, so I'm I could totally just make covers right now. I just had the impulse of just I got into Dua Lipa's most recent album at the time, and I'm just I really like the Don't Start Now song.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, it's such a great album though. So I just said I'm just gonna cover it, I think, and I did, and it got decent reception. So I'm I think I'm gonna keep going, and then it just spiraled on and on and on, and then I eventually got a really good high end electric kit, and I'm now I can just have a laptop as well. I can just finally record some properly produced covers and everything in my drum room. So just spiraled there, and then I started making skit content because that's another side of myself I wanted to show. I just really like making comedy and everything, and I don't know, I had some content I wanted to make and I did, and I have 3-month breaks in between because getting caught up on uni and all that, so it's just been a bit of a hassle, especially now because I'm mostly on campus. I've been scratching so hard just to play another cover and everything, but I haven't had the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny, actually? Because I think I know that my online presence definitely was encouraged by the lockdowns because, of course, your whole musical interaction during those months here in Melbourne, it was all online. And so, you know, you and I were both in Mario Latuada's improv class, right?
Yeah.
And I remember seeing you and I would see myself and it's like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. Well, like this... Doing a class via Zoom is not that different to making content for YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I feel like, you know, scratching at the bit to have like interaction with people, like with your music and with what you want to make and everything. I feel like, especially in lockdown, we all wanted to make something and put it out there for people to see. Give something to just like sustain over, I guess, for the lockdown. So just, you know, making content for just people trapped inside. Absolutely.
I think when I started making content, it was definitely, you know, a big relief for me. It was a bit healthier than just, you know, smashing down beers at night and just feeling sorry for yourself and wondering if the world's ending.
Yeah, just wonder if it will ever recover from it. And it seems like it's doing that to some degree, I guess.
It certainly does, hey. Like, I definitely... Sometimes I scratch my head and wonder if it was all a dream. Like, you'll walk down...
Yeah.
I live in Richmond where we've got Victoria Street, right? And I'll walk down there and I will remember when, you know, all the restaurants were shut and they had, you know, signs saying takeaway only and all the pubs were shut and getting, you know, dusty.
Yeah.
And then... Now it's just all back to normal. And in fact, people seem to be hungrier. Like, people are just like, wow, we've got 2 years to make up now.
That's what it felt like when we played Adelaide, especially because, like, everyone was really into it. And I feel like that's why we also got, like, you know, people crowd surfing and, you know, really moshing hard for that style of music. I'm just like, this is really, like, cool. It felt like a cathartic release for them, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. I find that every time I go out now, I'm just like, wow, like I'm, you know, not taking this. I mean, eventually I'm sure we'll all start taking it for granted again.
We'll all
but
go just
now,
to be like, yeah, it's just another Saturday night. I'm going out to a club with all my friends.
Exactly. But now it's still like, wow. I'm actually really looking forward to going to a festival for the first time and must be 2 years now.
Yeah, me too. I'm actually going to a festival this weekend.
Which one are you going to?
It's called Full Tilt Festival, and it's just like a bunch of metalcore bands and everything from the Melbourne scene, and some of them, you know, just North Lane are headlining and all that, and then you got some local bands opening, and it should be a really good time. It's like a smaller, unified festival, I think. Yeah, but it should be all right.
I'll get to know some people there. Maybe you'll end up playing, hey?
One day, hopefully.
That'd be great. What I'll do now is I'll just take a moment to thank our sponsor. Cool. I'm just going to thank Rob Healy, a.k.a. Ghost Soul. He does all my mixing and mastering. Great guy, very easy to work with. Hit him up on Instagram, just Ghost Soul. And, he'll be very happy to help you out. And so you've got a new release coming for Furious George, yeah?
Very, very soon, I reckon, because, we only just started tracking a couple days ago. I just recorded... We're doing a couple singles coming out soon. So we've got 3 singles. So I just recorded the first one of those last week, and then I saw Batman that night too.
Oh, cool. And what about Vexation? Have they got some new material coming out, or they're just working on the shows?
We in the middle. I think we're going to probably release the album in the middle of the tour, possibly. That's what we're aiming for.
Oh, cool.
We recorded it in the middle of last year, and it's currently in the final mastering stages, so that's very nice. And, you know, listening to it in the studio and not just like on a phone and everything, it's so much better, and we get a better informed decision about, like, you know, do we crank these up, do we turn these down and everything. And it's sounding very, very, very good. Great. So, yeah.
Where did you record it?
We recorded it at a studio in Preston called Danger Tone Studios. And we also practiced there, so we thought it'd be easier, just like we know where we're going and, you know, organize these dates and everything. We planned to track my drums in about 3 to 4 days. I ended up doing it in 2.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
hey, that's good.
And a cool thing about the first song on the album, that was done in 1 take.
Wow, really? Yeah.
I'm just like, I had small little things. I'm just like, maybe I could have tightened that up. And the guy in the studio was just like, we're doing that in one take. That was too good. I went back and listened to it. I'm like, all right, that was actually not bad. We can keep that.
It's always so nice, isn't it? Because I think in the modern era, especially with things like Pro Tools and Ableton, you just get the idea. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to nudge this way or that way. I found that with tracking some guitars recently where I just got, like an 8-bar loop, right? And I made sure each guitar strum was exactly on the grid line, right? And I listened to it and it sounded like shit.
Yeah.
I think that there's such a value. And I just went back and did the whole thing in one take again, right? And I was like, this sounds so much better, even though when I look at the grid, there's little fluffs there somewhere, and sometimes I've slid to the note. And
yeah, like even especially in metalcore music with the Furious George side of things, everyone wants everything like perfect, like perfectly gridded, like half the drums are bled over with samples and everything like that, you know. It's just like it takes the human element out of it a little bit, which is fine, which that's the style of music and it works. And then you have like the side where I'm on with Vexation and like, especially with like death metal and even just rock music and everything, it's just like there's some sort of a human element to it, which makes it very like, pleasant to listen to it in some respects. Some of it's kind of edited because, you want it to sound like, consistent most of the time, but it's got more of like a natural sounding feel and it's not like completely triggered and everything.
I remember listening. The first album I heard where the drums were absolutely perfect was, I forget which one it was, but it was a Fear Factory album. Do you know those guys?
Oh, Fear Factory, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember, like, it sounded awesome. It totally suited that style of music. But I think, Rick Beato.
Oh, yeah. He always is just like, like quantization and like, fitting it to a grid. Yeah, he's very against that, I guess.
Absolutely. And things like, auto-tune as well. Like,
yeah.
I definitely have used auto-tune in my productions before, but I always... It's like I use Melodyne, right? And so it's always, it's never on like 0. It's always like, okay, if it was minus 25, let's make that minus 12.5 or something like that.
Yeah, like it's more, I don't know. I guess it's just like he likes, again, he is an old head, but like he has some like respectable things to say and everything. And I like his content. Yeah, I mean, with pitch correction and auto tune and everything like that, it's just... I don't know. Sometimes, like especially harsh auto-tune, like the Kanye West sort of stuff, that's used more as it's an instrument.
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, he's just like, I'm not doing this to, sing better. It's just, it sounds cool. But like, yeah, definitely like the Jason Derulo side of things, I'm just like, yeah, you're cheating. No. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely like, everyone uses pitch correction, I guess, just like, just to tighten it and make it sound clean and everything. And then you listen to people like, Ariana Grande and everything sing live, and they have the chops, they have everything done. It's just more to like, production choices to just tidy it up a tiny bit.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a spectrum of like, this is where pitch correction is used fine. You're cheating. And that's just like, it's over the top and just like, that's just using it as an instrument, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know Bon Iver did something very similar because he and Kanye did some stuff together, didn't they?
I think so, yeah.
And there was that, it's a bit like, it's almost like a chorus pedal or something on a guitar. It's an effect. It's something.
Yeah, it's an effect.
But there was some boy bands, I think maybe in the mid-2000s, where it's one thing when one person is auto-tuned, but then when the
everybody
whole band,
is auto-tuned.
and you'd expect a little bit of beating in the harmonies, like a little bit of dissonance, but when it's all perfect, it's just like, it's almost like someone's taken Siri and just gone, okay, just get Siri to sing it.
Siri.
Yeah.
Just get Siri and Alexa in a room, just make an album.
Hey, there's something.
Yeah. No, I feel like as well with that, it was also just like, managers and producers getting these people together, just like, this is how we're going to do it. Everything needs to be perfect. Your image, your music, everything just is, controlled and manufactured to sound perfect. Just for people to buy their albums and the magazines with them on the front and all that stuff.
Well, there's so much money on the line with those big acts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially, if you're selling out, if your goal is to sell out arenas, right? Like how many millions of dollars every night is on the line?
Yeah, exactly. Like you have massive bands, especially like, you also have bands that are too massive and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, just like bands that are already way up here, playing shows, and it's just like, if there's one mess up, I guess they're just like, whatever. Like Metallica, I think definitely have that. So just like they're already too big for their own good, I guess, to the point where it's just like if they mess up a little bit, they can just restart because they're Metallica.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I guess, yeah, bands that are in like that, they're almost at that point. Like especially pop artists nowadays where like they're at a height of popularity, but like it could almost get to a point where it transcends them. And also like Queen, like you go to a sports game and everything, some people don't even know that it's Queen over the loudspeaker singing "We Will Rock You" and all that. It's just like, you know, you recognize them for the song, not for the name. So people definitely, from what I was saying earlier, with you know, pop stars getting to that Metallica Queen point, yeah, there's a lot of stuff on the line, and everything has to be perfect, and it's just like, you know, it was all for nothing, I guess, if you mess up.
Yeah.
Well, that's in the manager's eyes as well. Just like, don't mess this up for me.
I think I always think of Pink Floyd and how they have Comfortably Numb, and you know that that's all about a guy getting shot up with drugs before a show.
Yeah.
And you can sort of see how so many people in the 70s and 80s would have been just in this spiral where, you know, they would have had enablers going, okay, cool, well, you've got to go and do the show. You know, there's this much money on the line. Doesn't matter what your health is, mental or physical.
Yeah, it was a lot of pressure, I guess, especially with bands like that, just, you know, to get out there, play the shows, pump out albums every now and then. It's a lot of label pressure, I think, as well. Some people in the music industry are very stringent on that stuff and very strict with keeping bands in line and making sure they do that despite of their mental health or physical, whatever health it is. It's kind of toxic sometimes.
Absolutely, especially I think it's not hard to find people in bands that are risk takers as well. I think if you look at Ozzy Osbourne, for example, or I just recently read Flea's autobiography, Acid for the Children, great book, recommend it.
Love the title already.
Well, look, he was 14 or 15 and he was taking LSD, so yeah, it was aptly titled.
Oh, yeah.
But he goes on, he actually has a whole 2 pages dedicated to how to shoot up cocaine, right? And he would have been, I mean, the book ends when he's about 22, right? So,
Wow.
And so I can see how if he was placed in a situation where he had a whole lot of attention coming in, a whole lot of money coming in, and people were saying, okay, well, look, you've got to do a show. Make sure you do whatever you need to do to put on the show. Oh, you can see how people, you know, like Amy Winehouse came to an end and all that sort of stuff. It is sad.
Yeah, especially where it's like pressure from like your family and everything. Because I'm pretty sure like Amy Winehouse, it was her father.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely just like hounding her to just keep on everything no matter what. Again, no matter how healthy or unhealthy it is. Just, you know, it's making them money, but not making you happy, I guess.
Yeah. How do you have to find that you have to watch your mental health as you're going through these gigs? And I mean, well, even on your tour to Adelaide, right? Were there some points you were going, how am I going to get through this?
Yeah, I know. I mean, with the Adelaide show, I didn't feel too pressured, I don't think, because that was a very smooth trip, I think. Everything went well on that, I reckon. I think with the pressure thing, it mostly comes with like creating content, I guess, because I just feel extremely like I want to have a schedule, I guess, with making content, because that way, you know, you keep bringing in followers, you keep bringing in viewers of your content. Because I mean, like, as much as I am making what I make because I like doing it and everything, but I also want, you know, people to watch it and enjoy it as well.
I have found myself when I wake up, like, I'll check my texts, I'll check my Instagram, and then I'll check YouTube Studio, and I'll be like, wow, 1 new follower last night. Fuck
yeah,
yes.
I know.
You know what I mean?
It is a massive win, especially, or like you post a video from like, you have a video posted from like a couple weeks ago or whatever, and you see traction just all of a sudden coming from that. I had that happen to me with a couple, especially my my Doja Cat cover, my Take On Me cover, and for some reason, and now it's my biggest video, the every Red Hot Chili Peppers song skit, the 17-second clip. But I feel like I kind of played the algorithm with that one because that's what you have to do with YouTube as well. Most of the time, if you want videos to like get some sort of traction, you got to just see what people are watching and everything. And I see a lot of especially with YouTube Shorts now being a thing. Everyone wants to watch shorter content, you know, because everyone's gratified towards TikTok and like, you know, Instagram, especially jumping on that bandwagon with like the colossal amount of meme pages and everything. Everyone wants to watch these quick little videos that's just like, that was dumb. Moving on. So I kind of just did this random video. I'm just like, yeah, this will just get algorithm pushed for no reason. So I'm like, all right. I guess my skit videos are going to lean towards like the 30 seconds or less sort of side. I kind of want to start making more proper ones though, like the ones that are about 5 minutes long and actually like have a big sort of an overarching story in like, you know, in the vacuum of that video. I had that sort of concept as well with the Paramore video I made, which is like I kind of satirized people that are just like every rock band, pop punk band, every metal band with a female singer in it. It's just like, oh, this is just Paramore with breakdowns. This is just like if Paramore were this, if Paramore were that. I'm just like, you can talk about a female fronted band and not compare them to Paramore. You can do that. I'm just like, I don't know. But yeah.
Back in my day, it was No Doubt.
Oh, yeah, true. That actually, yeah. And now Gwen Stefani's off making her own stuff as well.
Awesome. Well, it's been really great to have you on, Shannon. Really good.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for dropping in. And everybody at home, check out, how do we find you? What's the best way to get you?
Instagram at Furious_Nollsy. You know, listen to Furious George on Spotify, listen to Vexation on Spotify, subscribe to my YouTube channel, shameless plug, NollsyDrums at YouTube. There you go.
Fantastic. Thanks again.
Thank you very much, Ben.
See you later.